Our next guest is a phenom of a different kind. She's a 3-0 amateur fighter. And on YouTube right now, her latest win has over 4 million views on one account. It's all over the place. Veronica Rothenhausler has won her last 2 fights in a row via 5-second KO. It took her 5 seconds to knock out her opponent. This was her last fight. This was her last fight. There she is. Bang! Straight right hand. He just copied me. Veronica, wearing, I'm sort of colorblind, but I think that's a lime green top, knocks out her opponent with a straight right hand. I believe there's going to be a replay of this coming up. We'll stick on this shot while we welcome in Veronica to the show for the very first time. Veronica, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing well. How about yourself? Thank you guys so much for having me.
It is our pleasure. And let me just make sure, am I pronouncing your last name correctly? It's a doozy.
Rothenhausler? Yeah, there's, I mean, I've heard it a couple different ways, but yeah, that's all me, so.
Rothenhausler, all right. So congratulations on, for a minute there, taking the MMA world by storm. Your clip was everywhere. Like I said, 4 million views on YouTube. You're on the Huffington Post. You're on every site. Even non-MMA sites are talking about you. How has your life changed since recording not 1, but 2 straight 5-second KOs?
You know, it hasn't changed too much. That's what I'm meant to do. So it's about time that it's happening, and everything's falling into place, and it feels great.
How does one pull off something like that? I mean, is this a fluke in your opinion, or are you actually trying to knock out your opponent in 5 seconds?
I've had a lot of really good opponents, but my striking game is, I'd like to think that it's a new thing for women's MMA, that not a lot of women have the power and the strength that I do, and so that's what I'm bringing, and I want to showcase it as much as I can, and and start doing big things with it. So
now, the first 5-second KO, you're 3-0. Your second fight, you knocked someone out in 5 seconds. Your third fight is the one we just saw. That one is not online. So how did you do that one?
My second fight, I opened up 2 jabs, came through with my straight right, and that was it.
Wow. Now, do you think, I mean, we just saw Ryan Jimmo in the UFC score a 7-second KO, but it probably should have been quicker because the referee took a while to get there. Are these legitimate 5-second KOs, or do you think maybe, you could have had a 3 or a 2 or a 4 or a 1-second KO in there?
I'm happy with the way it went. Like I said, this is definitely not my last fight. I have so much more that I have coming. 5-second, 4-second, 3-second. It doesn't matter. I'm coming. I'm putting on a show, and and however long it lasts, that's what we're gonna go with. So.
Now, how long have you been training in mixed martial arts?
About 2 years now. But I've been an athlete all my life, ever since I could stand. I was playing sports, but this seems to be the one that has captured my heart. So
what other sports did you practice before MMA?
I grew up playing softball, basketball, volleyball, pretty much anything I could get my hands on at the time.
How did you get into MMA?
Because of my size, people always, I guess, try and mess with me, and I grew up with older boy cousins, my cousin Kurt and Boomer, and they were always rough and tumble with me, and it just kind of got ingrained in me, and I had a couple fights, and they just went the way I wanted them to, and I thought, hey, this is something that I could definitely get into, and once I started, I immediately fell in love with it, and that was that. And
who are you training with?
Right now, I'm in and out of garages, mostly with Battleborn MMA. I fight with, I'm Ruthless Fight Team with Rudy Morales, Fight Legion with Sky. Wherever I can lay some hands on somebody, I'm willing to go.
Now, so you have this interesting scenario because you're an amateur fighter, and you just picked up this, huge win, back-to-back 5-second KOs, all that stuff. Are you just going to go into the professional ranks at this point, or to try to capitalize on all this notoriety, or are you going to take your time?
You know what? Right now, I'm discussing with family and my manager what we think the next best move is for me. Pro obviously is definitely an option. I want to see better competition. I want to see, I really want to get in there. I'll be there. I'll end up there eventually. So we're trying to see if right now is the time, or what will work best for me. So.
And correct me if I'm wrong here. You have 2 jobs. Obviously, outside of MMA, you don't make any money as an amateur fighter, so that's how you support yourself right now. What do you do?
I bartend. I bartend at 2 different bars up here in Reno.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, for now that's what I'm doing. But absolutely, hopefully, sometime soon here I can support myself just through fighting.
Yeah, is that the goal? Fairly soon to drop those jobs and just do this 100%?
Definitely.
So. Right now, amateur MMA, maybe it's a little different for the women's fighters. You're seeing a lot more people come up through amateur MMA, and especially the Tough Enough organization, which is the organization in which you scored that second KO, and, they've been home to the likes of Ronda Rousey and whatnot. It seems to be a little different with the women. Do you feel like right now you look around at the potential opponents that they can line up for you, and that you're on a whole other level from them? Like, at this point, what more can you gain other than a few more wins in amateur MMA?
First of all, I would like to say Jeff and Barry put on such a great promotion down there with Tough Enough. Before then, it was difficult for me to find other fights, other girls, who are willing to step in there. And they gave me such a huge opportunity with setting this past fight up with Ashley Evans-Smith. And, if I can find other opponents that I just want to fight, knockouts are cool, but I want to fight. I want to get in there and do my thing for 9 minutes. Whatever I can do that's where I want to be. So
you almost feel like maybe in the next fight, you don't try to even punch your opponent in the face right away, and you try to lay back to just show the people that you have different skills, that you have more skills, you got more, tools in your tool bag, so to speak.
There will definitely be a time where I can, once again, showcase my skill and what I have. However, there is no way that I'm stepping into that ring and holding back at all. So,
why didn't you want to touch gloves with your opponent in your last fight?
Well, I actually, I went to, I offered her to put my hand up. Hey,
oh, that's right.
Yep. Yeah, I said, you want to shake, and she shook me off no, which, it's whatever. Some people do, some people don't. And I do know that the media is focusing a lot on that right now, of the unsportsmanship-like conduct, and that she was like disrespecting me. I didn't really see it like that. If she didn't want to touch gloves, she didn't want to touch gloves. What she's doing is not going to dictate what I'm doing and how I'm coming out. So, whatever. She didn't want to shake, and, and it went how it went. So I don't, no skin off my nose.
Did that piss you off when she waved you off there?
No, I don't care.
No. I don't understand why people do want to touch gloves. Is that more just, I always think that it's kind of a way to just sort of gauge the distance and the reach and how much you have to work with here. But in your opinion, what is it? Is it a sportsmanship thing? Like, why even think about that at that point?
When you're training, even in practice, I will definitely say 95% of the time before you do anything with someone, boom, you're touching up.
Yeah.
Just kind of, all right, let's go, let's do this. Hey, man, we're about to punch each other in the face, But I would not take it as far as to say, oh, she disrespected me. I'm not tripping on it. I'm not worried about it at all.
You fight at 145 pounds, right?
Yeah.
Right now, it seems like the glamour division in women's MMA is 135. Do you think you have what it takes to move down to 135 to be a player there?
I'm 6 feet tall, so 145, I feel very comfortable there. I think that if I wanted to make a move, it would be something that I would have to look into a lot further because, 135, 6 foot, that's
Yeah.
pretty lean. And if my body feels comfortable there and I can perform at my top level, then I don't see why not. I know, like you said, it's kind of the glamour with Ronda Rousey, but Ronda's jumping around from 35 to 45, so, that could be an option as well. We'll see how it goes.
This may sound like a silly question, but I'll ask anyways. I mean, it's really not that silly when you consider the fact that Ronda has really been doing this for like a year now as far as pro MMA goes. When you watch her fight, you think you can hang with her?
I would love to step in the ring with her. I think everyone brings a different element to their fight game, and obviously she's a grappler, she's ground, and she's jits, and that's what she does. And I'm coming at her with a whole other element. And I would love to see how that would go, yeah.
So right now, you think you have what it takes to hang with her, or do you think you need a little more time?
I think that I'm stepping in the ring with anybody who will step in there with me. I have no fear. I'll step in there with anybody.
Do you think that you
said to me tomorrow, hey, she wants to fight? Cool, man, let's do it.
Do you think that you're sort of revolutionizing a little? I mean, obviously, let's not get too crazy here. It's 2 straight knockouts. It's very impressive, but you need a little more to say something like revolutionizing. But we don't often see knockout artists in women's MMA. It's a different kind of game. It's a different kind of outcome that we expect, and that's why we love it. I'm not knocking it, but do you think that you're coming in here and proving that the women can knock out each other here, and you can be a knockout artist as a women's MMA fighter?
Absolutely. That the whole thing of being a girl and fighting, and everybody's got something to say about it. But this is what I do. Like this is what feels good to me. This is what I am so incredibly passionate about. And when I just want to get out there and do what I do. And if it results in a knockout, then that's what we're going to work with. There's definitely more to come. Yep.
How do people react when you tell them that you're an aspiring women's MMA fighter?
I get a lot of, some people, punch me in the face, which is a weird thing to say to anybody.
Yeah.
But, people always react differently. You don't look like you're a fighter. Well, this is what I've got inside, so I'm not going to let anybody tell me who I am and what I'm doing. So,
it's no secret that the most famous women's MMA fighters, at least in the United States, as of late, Gina Carano, Ronda Rousey, Miesha Tate, even Cyborg, they all have very interesting looks. People think they're good looking, right? Do you think that you need to be a good looking person in order to be a famous women's MMA fighter in the United States?
I mean, I don't think so. Obviously, in those certain circumstances, it's helped them. And I know that it's very appealing to watch. All right, when you see 2 chicks fight, and if one of them's attractive and the other's not, unfortunately, in society, I would say 85% of the people are going to root for the pretty girl or whatever. And if that's what, America wants to do, then, I say give what you want, so.
But what about the stuff outside, like Ronda posing in the ESPN magazine and, what Miesha has done in Fight magazine? I mean, is that something that you're willing to do, or do you not want to go that route and be someone different?
Oh, man.
Well, you understand the question, though, right? Because that has helped their career. And this is a male-dominated sport. There's a lot of males in attendance, watching on TV, paying the tickets, all that stuff. So I'm wondering if a women's MMA fighter, an aspiring one, thinks that I need to do this kind of stuff in order to really make money in this sport and have a career here, or do you not want to touch any of that?
I don't think it's something that I would need to do or any women need to do, but hey, man, if I can be on the cover of ESPN, I'm not going to turn that down,
Right.
So
it's more of a situational thing, but you don't feel like a women's MMA fighter needs to go that route in order to be successful and popular in this country?
I wouldn't say that they need to, but, you know, obviously a huge part of this, for men as well, is marketing yourself and your image, and I think that's what these girls are doing, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. That's definitely something that's definitely an option for me. I mean, I would never look down on them, no way, and say, oh, well, you know, you're posing on ESPN's cover, you know, without any clothes on. I mean, whatever, you know, she's going to do what she's going to do. She looks great. And I'm sure she got, you know, obviously she got a whole bunch of publicity from it. So now next time some guy hears, oh, Ronda Rousey's fighting, you know, so-and-so, he's definitely going to tune in. Oh, that was a hot chick I saw on ESPN. I'm going to watch that fight. So in a way, in a roundabout way, you know, it's just more publicity for her and for her fight, and, you know, so.
By the way, why do they call you the Heartbreaker?
It's somebody tagged it on me, and it just stuck, so.
Are you a heartbreaker in all walks of life, or just maybe in the cage when you're breaking people's hearts because you're knocking them out in 5 seconds?
I mean, you know, I'm, I don't know. I'm not a heartbreaker, no.
Because
no way.
That's sort of a negative thing, you know. I don't want anyone to break my heart. I don't think anyone wants to do business with a heartbreaker.
I think that was kind of an image deal as well. I mean, I'm not, you know, I'm a nice person. I'm not a heartbreaker.
I could see. I could tell. By the way, have you heard of Invicta Fighting Championships?
Absolutely, I have.
Is that a goal for? I mean, right now it seems like women's MMA, it's in a very good place. We have the CEO of Invicta, Shannon Knapp, coming up next. Is there perhaps a future for you over there? Is that what you're looking at? Maybe as a step before the Strike Forces of the world?
You know what? I think that luckily women's MMA is blowing up right now, and I could not be more thankful to be in the position that I am, because, you know, I want to blow up with it. I think that the fact that there are multiple organizations that are offering just fights for women that's incredible. I love that. Absolutely, I would love to do business with Invicta. I would love to do business with anyone who's trying to further women's fighting, period. And I know that Shannon is huge into that, and, you know, I really respect that. So, yeah, that's definitely an option for me.
Do you have your next fight lined up yet?
Not yet, no.
When would you like to fight again?
As soon as I can get in that cage, the sooner the better. So.
Are you going to try to knock out your next opponent in 5 seconds? Because if you do that, you know, like, the internet will explode. You'll be all over the place if you aren't already. I mean, 4 million views for an amateur MMA fight is pretty insane. Is that what you're going to try to do to really, really get on people's radar?
You know what? I'm not worried about them. I'm going to go in there and do my thing, because I know that eventually it'll take me to the top. So if it results in a knockout, awesome. If not, I'm still going to go in there and bang and do some damage. So
I think you should go for the 5-second KO, because you get the win and it only helps your cause a little more.
I mean, it definitely wouldn't hurt.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt. It's amazing. 2 in a row, who'd have thunk it? I mean, that in itself is crazy. By the way, when you get the second one, do you start thinking, how the hell did this happen? Like, did it register that you had just done it for the second straight time?
I mean, it's really not. It's what I train to do. You know, I work really hard with my stand up, and it's, like I said, it's starting to show in the ring, and it feels great. It's what I want to do. I'm a striker, and, you know, let's do it. 5-second knockout, cool. If I can go all 9 minutes, that's great too. I just want to fight. So.
All right. Well, congratulations on recording a pretty amazing feat. Back-to-back 5-second KOs. It seems like you got your head on your shoulders. It seems like you're really in line to do something really cool here in women's MMA, and I think a lot of people are excited to see what you'll do. So we wish you the best of luck. We thank you for stopping by. Looking forward to seeing what you do next, and keep us posted on when you do make your pro debut, because I think a lot of people will be interested in that.
Ariel, thank you so much. I wanted to say a couple shout-outs real quick, if that's cool with you.
That is cool.
Absolutely. Roland and Manny Cespedes, thank you guys so much for everything. Sky with Fight Legion, Real Water, Rockwell Watches. Also, I have a new shirt out. It's a limited edition Rothenhausler shirt at iFight site. And I wanted to thank those guys so much. The Kyle and the boys over there are doing great things for me. And everyone, Ultimate Fightwear, everyone who is helping me out, thank you guys so much. Friends and family, I love you guys.
I don't know a lot of amateur fighters who have limited edition shirts, so I think you're doing something right.
Well, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
All right, we'll talk to you soon. Best of luck.
Thank you.
There she is, Veronica Rothenhausler, stepping in on the MMA Hour. Want to make sure I got that right. Veronica, the Heartbreaker Rothenhausler. 3-0 as an amateur fighter. Her last 2 wins have come via 5-second KO. She defeated Ashley Evans-Smith on July 6th. She defeated Noelle Cherry on November 4th. Last fight was for Tough Enough. They do good work out of Las Vegas.